A big part of teaching is getting learners to do things, and if you set up activities well, whether that's in the physical classroom or online, they're much more likely to go well. Like many things in life, activities have a beginning and a middle and an end. And in this video, I'm going to give you 5 great tips for starting off your activities brilliantly. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and check out my CELTA toolkit videos too. They're free and the link's just below there. I'm Jo Gakongo from elttraining.com. I've got over 30 years experience in the classroom and I've taught hundreds of teachers how to make their lessons run more smoothly to keep their learners more engaged. Tip number 1. Enthusiasm. Beginnings are important. They set the scene, so you want to make sure that you sell your activity to your learners. You want to motivate them. You want to generate some interest. So make sure that you have a good energy about what you're doing. You don't have to be all singing or dancing, but you're the teacher. You can choose what you take into class. So make sure that you're doing something that you're interested in. That feeling will definitely be contagious. Tip number 2, visuals. Visuals are a great way to start activities. For example, if your lesson's about journeys, you could easily say, tell me about your journey to school, but that's a bit dull. So something like this. Who are they? Where are they going? What are they doing? That's interesting. And it's very easy to find good copyright-free pictures on Pixabay, Morgfile, Canva, Unsplash. Plenty of opportunity for that. Tip number 3, ask interesting questions. So as well as pictures, interesting questions are a great way to start a lesson. Let's say we're talking about food. What did you eat last night? That's okay as a question, but a more interesting question would be, what's the best meal you've ever eaten? Or even better, what's a food that you hate? In my experience, things that people have strong feelings about often generate more interest and more talk. So think about how you could tweak things to make your questions a bit more interesting. Tip number 4, anticipate problems. If you give people an activity and they don't have the language to do that activity, it's not going to go well. So your job as a teacher is to anticipate those problems, anticipate what they will need. With the example we looked at before with food, the language they need is that of describing food. One of the first classes I ever taught, I went in and I asked, what's your favourite food? And they said, cabbage. And I asked somebody else and they said, cabbage. And I thought, well, you know, cabbage isn't that interesting. And so I asked them, well, what words do you know for food? And they said, cabbage. So these are the things you need to anticipate, especially at lower levels. A good way to do this is to do the task yourself and see what language you need. Do it out loud, works well. Tip number 5 is do a demonstration. Clear instructions are vital to activities, and I've made another video about this here, but just to recap, instructions need to be clear, they need to be concise, and remember that a demonstration is worth a lot of explanation. Just show them what to do. So I hope that these tips will help you to set your activities up really well, and do have a look on my site for other useful things about classroom management. Bye bye.